Agenda where side beer.
Guys, welcome to the episode in Wisconsin. My name is Frank.
Check.
Hello.
There he is.
Flea flu. Oh,
Welcome to the episode in West Comics. My name is Frank. Oh, I thought people were gonna cheer. Thank you. Uncle nephew Shane is here. You're looking at me like that. Oh my gosh.
hi. Good morning, Frank. Thank you for having me be back again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we were on the fence after last week.
Yeah.
And the past year and a half.
on time.
Yeah, just last
2 weeks
week.
in a row.
2 weeks in a row, you're on time.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that out.
I'm on time every week.
They're on some kind of streak.
Every week?
Close.
The
We're in
hot
that-
dog. You were on time, and then we started late. The hot dog, corn dog, spoken for dog.
We're
Paul-
still doing that
Paul is
joke.
here.
What it do, baby?
We're gonna do. Like
Wait,
a little
what
while.
about him not being single?
Yes.
Right.
Until he is.
It's an ongoing.
Until I am. So it's
Until
going to
he
be a
is.
long time. Wow, my hair looks
Until he
Until he is. And please welcome again the very sudden.
The very single.
I can say the very single. I
Can't
said-
get any more single than him.
the very sudden, the very single, the amazing entrances and exits.
Exits.
Very
You know,
dramatic.
I couldn't resist.
That's
Hi, guys.
That's why we love
The
you.
chosen Don, the final floss. Donovan is here.
Hello. Hi-yo.
It's the final floss.
Hi-yo.
What a time to be alive. Yeah, that
Guys,
doesn't-
it's nice to see all of your faces again. I have seen you
Thank
in,
you.
I don't know, 2 days. I haven't seen you in the studio in like a week or two. What?
I know. Where did you go last week?
I don't know what's happening. to me
Aviator
right now.
game.
It looks like I have a wig on.
It does.
I need
This
a haircut.
segment of Into the West is brought to you by Pantene.
By Paul's wig.
Paul's wig.
Maury's wigs.
Oh, dang it, dude. You beat me to
Oh,
it. You beat me to the Maury's. Wait.
you got his comb.
How we feel?
Oh,
if
for
I-
your beard.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, something is a little off here.
Something's amiss.
Dude has a comb.
Shane's always got a comb.
I got it for my beard.
Dude's got a comb and a shiny dome. Something doesn't make sense.
I'm like the Fonz with my own beard.
Guys, we wanted to talk a little bit real quickly. We're going to get to some trailers later on, but we want to talk real quickly about the announcement earlier this week.
I live in one of them.
Very
The-
good. For better.
The final, or not the final, like we got to see, what's his name's
Didn't do anything.
costume? Superman.
Superman.
Cornswet.
Superman.
Cornswet? Is Cornswet?
James Cornswet.
is that his name?
James?
No, I don't
David.
think it's James.
David.
David Cornswet.
David Cornswet.
Way to be on top of it, Shane.
Oh.
Your thoughts on the, I was going to say his underoos, the thought on his,
underoos.
on his outfit. What do you guys think about the gear?
I think it's funnier what people are. The comments, the comments are very funny because of the picture itself.
Infamous Tinder
gear.
live.
And
Thank
then
you,
most of the comments are, why is he slowly putting on his boot?
And there's a
You see
planet
He's got like a
exploding in the
leg up in
background.
the air.
Like he doesn't want. He has a face on like he doesn't want to do it. Like, oh, these
Yeah,
people.
that was my only gripe. That he was like,
There's a meteorite in the background, or there's something in the
Metropolis is burning
background.
down. All right. That was like the only thing. But I think what James Gunn was trying to do was show that Superman he represents us as, hardworking people. Like,
Right.
yeah, this is all
Time to
going
go to
down, but
work.
I have to
I'll
put
be
my.
right back.
Uh-oh.
What's
All right,
wrong?
be careful with
Wow.
the chair.
It's pulling a Donovan.
Oh, but
Just walking
go
out
ahead.
right in the middle of
go
everything.
ahead. He's a maniac. I don't know.
Anyway,
what's wrong
it's
with
his hair. He's obsessed.
his hair
with,
now.
It's the hair. He's got to have his hair in the right way.
Our stylist is off tonight.
Yeah.
Mr.
We
Early.
didn't bring makeup and
Yeah.
everything.
Anyway, I think I totally jumped over you. Keep going. I'm so
Oh
sorry.
no! I have to, no! It's exactly it. What you're?
Yeah, I mean, he's just putting on his boots
Well, good, get out.
like a blue collar
yeah.
worker, and I see where James Gunn's going with this. I thought it was odd showing him nonchalantly putting on boots while Metropolis was being attacked.
Sure.
That was like my only thing that I was like, that's an odd first image choice.
No, he's
I
sitting
think,
down. in a
Yeah.
chair.
I thought that could have been an image shown in like an Entertainment Weekly special look at 2025 blockbuster movies. Like that's what that
yeah.
that's what that photo looks like. But to me, like if you're going to show a first image and it, for all of his faults,
It didn't need the exploding planet in the background.
right. I think if you did like just him putting on his boots over Metropolis, that's all you
Yeah.
need. That would be all you need. But as far as the way the suit looks, you could tell that it's like a combination of like New 52 with Kingdom
Right.
Come. It looks
Yeah.
like an amalgam of
Everything.
all the suits put together as one. And
think
the
that's a great
people
call,
who
yeah.
are like, guys, it's one image.
When
It's
people first saw
one-
the image of
What are we
Heath Ledger as the Joker,
People, everybody loses their minds.
yeah,
That's true.
I agree. The exploding planet in the background was an interesting choice, but I don't care. I didn't even notice there was really something in the background until people started pointing it out. I was like, oh, that's not even what I was looking at in this. I
Right.
just wanted to look at the suit. And I think Kingdom Come New 52 is a great call. That's like exactly what it looks like. From even the lines on
Yeah.
it look very
The
New
high
52.
collar, the new 52.
Nobody have a problem with
That's
that
what-
as the inspiration. I mean,
No, I thought it was really cool looking, and I am excited to see it in a different frame image. Like I'd like to see like him doing stuff in it. I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is I want a
Well,
trailer
he's
for a
putting
movie
his
that comes
boots
out.
on.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, I thought it
doing
looked really cool. And you know what? There's this weird. I mean, we know who it is, but there's this weird just contingent of people who constantly say he looks like Henry Cavill, and I'm like, Henry Cavill looks like Brandon Routh, who looks like Christopher Reeves, who looks like George Reeves,
Yeah, so there's a type.
who, hold on a minute now, looks like Superman.
Yeah.
He doesn't. If you look at a picture of David Cornsweet and of his face, and then a picture of Henry Cavill's face, and you tell me those two people look alike, past the black hair and blue eyes, you're
Yeah,
out
it's
of
not-
your mind. It
It's the
doesn't
suit.
make any sense. And then there was a small contingent of people that were like, "Oh, it's clearly trying to be the Snyder costume." I'm like, in what way? It's not even the same color blue. There's so many people determined to hate this.
guys, trust me, they are not trying to do anything like what Snyder did.
Yeah,
They're totally keeping
Thank
away.
God.
Trust me, they're
baffling.
not trying to do that.
Couldn't
at
get
all.
any further.
It's weird how like anything that Gunn posts or shows, how they come out in droves. Like it fills my timeline, and I'm someone who like when I see it, I'm like not interested,
Yeah, same.
don't care.
I block people.
Well, yeah, I don't want to see that because not because I disagree with them, but because their facts are so out of touch and off base and have no validity and nothing grounded in their argument.
Yeah, there's no reason
there
for
really
them
is
to
no
be
reason.
this
So for me, it's
against.
like
Yeah.
I'm not interested in engaging with someone like that. But even then, when I have like dislikes or not interested, they come out of the woodworks and they shit all over like this what I think is going to be a great movie.
Yeah, I think they're laying the groundwork for a great movie. And the one thing the things they're determined to hate are so strange. Like David Cornsweat's
Meal prep?
trainer,
sorry.
came out recently and said he's 6'6", 240 pounds.
He's 6'6".
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how tall that actually
He said it's
is.
240?
Well, he was 6'6", 200, and then he started working out, and he's up to 240, I guess. And they said he's going to lean out a little. He's not a football player. Not everyone who's 6'6" is 260.
Saying,
But
Easy, Franco, the mega powers. Yeah.
so he was previously listed on the internet as like 6'4", which is I think 3 inches taller than Cavill, the same height as Reeves.
Wow.
A little bit taller than Routh, and the same height as the guy who's in Superman and Lois, Tyler Hoechlin. But apparently he's 6'6". Why would what does a trainer have to gain from lying about that? And people were like, "Oh, he's not 6'6". They're just gassing him up." There's a picture of the initial cast photo where he's standing.
Towering over.
He's standing next to Nicholas Holt. And if you want to die on the hill that the Google search is correct about the height, Nicholas Holt is listed at 6'3". In this picture on James Gunn's Instagram, David Cornsweat is at least 3 inches taller than him.
He's a big.
And I posted the picture under the thing about him being 6'6". I was like, he really does look like he might be 6'6". That's kind of cool to have such a giant dude play Superman. Somebody comments on it as like, or he's standing on the curb. I'm like, he's standing right next to
Yeah, he's
Nicholas
sitting on an
Holt.
apple box right
What
next.
I think
curb
that's
is
what it
he
is.
standing on that Nicholas Holt isn't standing on?
He's standing on
What are
Lois's
you
feet.
talking about? Like,
got
why
lifts.
are you so
Yeah.
determined for this guy not to be 6'6"? I don't care. First, he was like, he could be standing on a curb, and I was like, yeah, I guess he could.
That's a good point.
What? Why do you care?
I think the problem is that people really love Henry Cavill as a person
Yeah,
outside of him being
That's it,
Superman.
yeah.
sure.
And
Sure.
they're really upset that he didn't get the Superman that we wanted from him. And there's really
Yeah.
a couple people to blame for that, and that's Warner Brothers, obviously, and Zack Snyder for writing him into a
I would even
terrible
say
hole.
I would even say Chris Terrio.
Yeah, even Chris Terrio as well.
Yeah, who has written some really good things, but he also and David S. Goyer is responsible for why Man of Steel is kind of a dour movie. He helped write The Dark Knight. David S. Goyer is a phenomenal writer.
Yeah.
But he just didn't quite get the character of Superman, and I think that hurt a lot of people's opinions of that version of Superman. And some people loved it. They loved the groundedness of it, which is fine. But the religious fervor that these people who want Henry Cavill Superman to be the only Superman to ever exist is crazy to me.
I just think because they removed him, I think it's more than.
That,
Yes.
I mean, since they removed
Sure.
him as Superman, I think
That's fair.
their main
There wasn't a petition.
gripe.
He
You
was
know what I
told he
mean?
was going to
Like,
be Superman again, and then they're like,
yeah.
"Oh no, you're
never
not.
mind.
Actually, you won't."
I think that's why they're so.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Henry
angry.
Cavill. Guess what, guys? He's going to be fine.
I think
He
that
is
guy's all right.
fine. He'll be great.
He's going to be fine.
gonna
He's been
be
in,
great.
I mean, since then, he's been in a ton of good movies.
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare is solid.
Man from Uncle's.
I haven't seen Argyle. Well, that was a while. But Argyle, it was apparently not very good, but I'm sure he made a lot of money.
He
on
was
it.
actually really good in the movie. But the movie's not great, but he was good in
He's
it.
going to
You
be
saw
in
it?
the Warhammer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Warhammer thing is the
He's
thing he's
Witch-
most
yeah,
interested in.
I mean, the dude's going to be okay. Like, don't worry.
Highlander.
Highlander, which is going to be real.
He's rumored to be casted in the MCU as a character. We
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Which
if-
we got news about that kind of stuff later.
Yes,
but-
we do.
Brendan over here in the chat is saying, "Hi, Brendan," and "Hi, Maddie, the puppy." No one cared about Hugh Jackman's height once he owned the role. Comic fans are
Fair.
fickle wenches.
I
Agreed.
100% agree. And Superman in the comics, I think, is 6'3", and Batman's like supposed to be 6'1". And that was one of those things in Batman versus Superman that wouldn't have bothered me if the movie was better. But once you know how when a movie's not great, the little things start to bother you more.
Yeah.
Batman's not supposed to be a bigger person than Superman. It creates a weird dynamic. So the fact that Ben Affleck was towering over Henry Cavill in that movie in particular
help, yeah.
was weird. It was strange. It like throws a dynamic.
I also thought it was weird that Batman killed people, but that's neither
But
here nor
see,
there.
and that's another thing. Batman kills people in other Batman movies. In Batman '89, he kills people. You could argue in some of the Dark Knight movies, he kills people. He throws a guy down a tower. The black dude, the bodyguard, when he's going up to fight the Joker in Batman '89, he throws that dude down a whole skyscraper.
Yeah. No, I'm trying to think of other iterations. I know '89.
He blows up a whole building of ninjas in Batman Begins. He crashes. He shoots bombs at Miranda Tate in Dark Knight Rises.
Sure.
But point being, it's not as there's not as much wanton destruction in those. Even though I just said bomb, so whatever. But he also the movies are better, so I'm willing to forgive the slight out of characterization, like Batman cutting through a bunch of armed guards with his Batwing and mowing them down with a machine gun is not the same as Batman tackling Harvey Dent and he happens to die because Batman is trying to save a kid. It's not the same.
Well, listen, Man of Steel, I tell you, that Man of Steel movie, you're trying to tell me there was so much destruction in that film. Superman must have killed several people.
Well, he killed.
He only saves one family.
You know what? Great point.
Everybody else dies
People
in Man
made-
of Steel.
Because that image, there's the planet exploding in the background, and he's not doing anything in an image that's not the movie. Like, I don't understand. They're like, oh, this Superman doesn't do anything. Bro, it's a picture. But literally, Superman lets the whole
frame.
city of Metropolis get flattened in Man of Steel.
Yeah.
Like, so he can fight Zod.
I mean, he doesn't save one person.
He makes no effort to save anybody. He just fights Zod.
Every building is destroyed.
So if that bothers you, then that should bother you.
Absolutely.
It doesn't bother me, and it doesn't bother
It doesn't bother me either. I actually like Man of Steel, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Like
I'm
Man of
excited
Steel.
for this movie.
Anyways,
I think that he's going to do a great job.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see people dissect more things as we still have a year to go when this movie comes out, and people are going to be breaking stuff, everything down to like, oh, I saw that he drove a non-hybrid car to
Save the planet, my ass.
Oh my gosh, this is your Superman.
His carbon emission is
No
unbelievable.
way. It's off the charts. You saw how much fast food he eats.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
What's David Cornsweet's
hates
carbon
this
footprint
planet.
like?
Corn sweat, more like corn syrup.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Oh, man.
Boy Scout, more like
Scout.
Kwani, you need to fumigate this studio. There seems to be a bug
He's got
problem.
old Jiminy in here.
This past weekend was Free Comic Book Day as well as Star Wars Day, and early on Saturday we got our first look at the official trailer the second official trailer for Acolyte. It's coming out in less than a month. I want to get your guys' thoughts. I'm really looking forward to this series. It's going to be June 4th, exclusively on the Plus. This is going to be a 6 to 8 episode. I think it's an 8 episode deal with a 2 episode premiere.
Mm-hmm.
The Acolyte, June 4th. That's a Tuesday, so we'll be able to talk about it.
Yeah, I like
It
that.
won't be coming up like at the same time as we're on.
I'm a fan of that.
Tuesday, June 4th. We're going to check out this trailer real quick for
Let's do it.
The Acolyte, exclusively on the Plus.
Last night, a Jedi was murdered.
A Jedi.
A Jedi.
The Jedi
Way to go, you guys.
justify their galactic dominance
Yeah, I
in the
thought
name of peace. But that peace
cool.
is a lie.
Wasn't that fast?
That looked pretty weird.
being hunted.
That was a very flat line delivery.
She was my student. I trained her. Let me be the one to bring her in.
I sense this is only a small part of a larger plan. Some sort of shift to tip the scales.
Oh, is that yeah.
It's time to face the past. Destiny is not decided for you by an anonymous force. If you want to pull the thread and change everything, then pull it.
What are you?
Is that like Revan kind of? That looks cool.
Exclusively on the Plus, June 4th, 2 episode premiere. It's an 8 episode series. Shane, is the Force strong with you, or are you with this? What's going on?
Well, let's just put it this way.
Okay.
it's hard to judge from the trailer, just from the simple reason that you can't tell who can act and who can't. There's a lot of flat lines in that trailer where you just go, huh. But plus there's a lot of things we've seen. There's a lot of things we've seen before, which it always gets me nervous. I'm not as big as a fan of Star Wars as the rest of you cats on this show and in life, but I know good from bad. You know what I'm saying, Frank?
Oh
Frank,
yeah,
listen to me.
I know. Well, I know that you loved Andor. And
I love Andor.
And you're not a big Star Wars guy.
I'm not a huge Star Wars guy.
Sure.
But I do know good from bad.
You love General Shichikuka?
If nothing else, if this show doesn't have some General Shikuka butt on it. General Shikuka on it.
General Shikuka butt. Sorry about that.
I think it'll be like the rest of them. I think it'll be mostly good. We'll all be on the fence by the time it's over, and then that'll be that. We'll forget all about it. That's what I think is going to happen.
Probably true.
Donovan?
I've been excited for this for a while. When they first announced it, I've always wanted a show that's Jedi centered. I think that's what people are drawn to the most when it comes to Star Wars. You know, you could say it's all the fighting and the ships and the dog fighting. Yeah, I think it's a part of it, but I think what people are most interested in is the Force, lightsabers, doing cool things that regular people can't do.
Are we going to learn a lot of these things?
I think so, but this takes place, 100 years before?
Over 100 years
Battle Yavin?
before Phantom Menace.
Oh my God, 100 years before Phantom Menace. So we're going to get a whole new look at Star Wars in live action that we've never seen before. We're kind of familiar with in video games and some of the Legends things that we've read. And
the Jedi are different. They're not operating underneath, any kind of Republic.
Sure, and do we see Yoda? At some point in this, the guy's 900 years old by the end of Return of the Jedi.
He's in the High Republic comic, like the first run, and some of the other.
Either way, I don't need Yoda in this. I was just throwing that out there as like a thing.
Sure, yeah.
But I will say that this looks exciting. I'm kind of with Shane on the sort of monotone and flat esque acting, but of course we have the delivery is a little flat, but maybe that's because that's what Jedi are, emotionless.
I don't think that's a good excuse.
I'm throwing it out there. I'm not saying that could be the reason why, but I'm saying that maybe that's the
what
reason
they're
why.
going
Maybe
for.
that's what they're going for. I can't say, but I'm with you as far as like
we've gotten both good and pretty flat performances from lots of actors over the years that have played Jedi.
Sure.
So,
for me, it's like I just want to see. When you watch a trailer and you see like a really passionate moment in the trailer, they're like, oh, I wonder how they got there. I didn't feel that with this.
Yes, I agree.
I didn't feel like that.
At any point. Like that's what you want from a trailer. You want something where you go, it takes you back,
like,
at least acting wise, a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
but maybe that's their whole deal, is because this is supposed to be a mystery. Maybe that's their whole goal. It's like, we're just going to show you this because we want you to be as...
What if it was just the 3-minute trailer of visuals with the Tim the Toolman Taylor growl every 10 seconds?
Thank God the black guy has a Killmonger haircut because we've never seen that before.
That was big in the High Republic era.
Back at how many 100 years before?
100 years before Phantom Menace takes place. 100 years before Skywalker. That's the thing I like the most about this is that
Me too.
we don't have Skywalker.
Real
stuff.
fast. I don't mind young people in these shows.
No, Shane, you don't like young people.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind young people.
They better stay off my lawn.
Stay out of my Star Wars.
My Star Wars. Oh! You hear me? I don't mind young people in these shows, but they better know how to act, and they better come with some kind of emotion and feeling that doesn't seem forced or out of character.
I better get some Stranger Things kids acting in this stuff if that's going to be the case. I'm with you on that one.
Who said this? What?
Kevin
This show
said.
will be better than Andor.
We'll do better.
In viewership.
Maybe.
Probably. More lightsabers in this. It's probably true.
Probably.
I
can see that.
I don't know if it'll do beher than Ahsoka, but Andor, I'm sure it'll do better than.
Yeah.
Because Andor was
Interesting point, Kevin.
But I liked pretty much all of the visuals in the trailer. I thought looked pretty good. I thought the reveal of whoever that Sith dude at the end was cool. I'm intrigued in that. The only visual I didn't love was Carrie-Anne Moss looking like she was swinging a 10-ton bat around as a lightsaber.
That was not good.
I thought that was a terrible choice for her to do that.
It was really
That was
weird.
slow.
And also, I'm going to say something that some people might think is like kind of sacrilegious. I don't love her as an actress. Like, I don't think I've ever watched anything outside of The Matrix. And I don't even like her in the Matrix sequels. I don't love her as an actress.
You like her in the original?
Yes, I do like her in the original. She has a more subtle performance and is less like.
She's kind of flat.
Yeah, but she also makes a face at one point in the trailer that was supposed to be like, oh, but it was really almost made me laugh. But there's some flat line delivery. But I'm intrigued in the premise. There's a disturbance. There's something going on, and we got to figure it out. And it's like Jedis, getting to see Jedis be Jedis. I don't know if I love to like change everything in the balance. Like Andor wasn't about everything changing. Not everything always needs to be about the universe is changing. Yeah. Like it can just be a fun cop show within the Star Wars universe. I would be much more interested in that.
But I'm trying to make something huge out of this that doesn't.
Right. It's like, and this guy is going to be a clone of the Emperor.
Yeah.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Or he's just going to be an Inquisitor, like, bro.
Star Wars works well.
Of some kind. Or, obviously,
Star
long
Wars
time
works
period. But
best when we see the effects of the top of the food chain. Andor being the perfect example of that. Yeah, we know what happened between the Jedi, the Sith, and the Emperor and all that stuff. The effects of that is it affected an entire galaxy of people. Right. Communism, all the things that an empire would bestow on a people that believe themselves to be a republic.
You're seeing the corruption of the different classes and everything else.
Yeah. Correct. That's what's most interesting about Star Wars. Yes, in the right context, the Force, the balance of the Force is great. Fun. Good stuff. But like, as I like to say, keep it in church. Keep it in the Jedi. Keep it with Jedis. Keep it there because that's where it belongs. Like, the whole, like, one of the things that I didn't like about Force Awakens is when Finn goes, we have to use the Force, and Han Solo says, well, that's not how the Force works. And I, Right. But you didn't even really like the Force in the beginning. You thought it was a bunch of religious mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you got swayed from it for all the years, but then you were disillusioned by it because of your son. Like, there's so many things, like, people like to play in, and maybe that's a studio exec thing. They like to play into like, make sure we're hitting the Force and the things that sells toys and merchandise and as where Star Wars fans, we really just love the stories that are coming out of. Yes, the merch is cool. I have a $200 lightsaber at home. I'll admit it. But at the same, I did the build your lightsaber thing with my son at Disneyland.
It's a very cool experience.
It was one of the coolest experiences ever. They do it right, but all that to say is that Star Wars works the best is when it's in response to the overall bigger picture.
I think I agree. Yeah. I think the movie should be reserved for watching the storm, and the TV shows should be reserved for watching the raindrops hit the heads of all the other characters.
Sure.
The effects of the storm.
I think they could be missing a whole batch of source material though, because this is going to be towards the end of the High Republic. And so then they're going to have this series, and then they're going to try to go back and make High Republic films because it's in 3 phases that spans decades, right? This is going to be towards the end of what's happened with the Nihil and the creation essentially of Sith and the different levels of I guess say like religious or reserved. There was many people who believed in this, like, and if you were reading any of the stuff about the High Republic, many of those Jedis at the time, they were telling people not to get into relationships and not attach themselves to people because it weakened their powers, that they couldn't be, they could be less effective Force users. And there's all kinds of different stuff within the lore that they could lean into, and I think that that's going to be the interesting kind of dynamic, is communicating this enough while telling you a compelling story, have it be well acted and well executed in 8 episodes, and have you interested in seeing something else that's High Republic related, because this is the way they're introducing the High Republic to us, and I don't know if everybody's going to be on board.
I want to ask you a question, Frank, based on some of what you just said. And I think I think I agree with what I'm about to say, but I'm not sure. I want to get your guys' thoughts, Frank's in particular. Do you think that the amount of auxiliary Star Wars lore in books and comics hurts the mainstream movies? Case in point, if those Star Wars novels in the 90s never came out where Luke was some kind of god who could do no wrong, do you think people would have been as mad at Luke being just kind of a little bit of a he wasn't perfect in The Last Jedi? I think those novels, building him up to be some kind of just Lord and Savior for every moment, Deus Ex Machina every time something happens, I think that hurt that movie because people were like, that's what I wanted to see. And Star Wars no longer has the freedom to, well, not on the whole, but in a lot of cases, no longer has the freedom to create its own ideas because of all the lore.
They're kind of retro canonizing a lot of the Star Wars legends.
And if there's
stuff
not
and
a comic or a novel
else.
if there's not a comic or a novel where Luke astral projects himself across the universe, then it can't happen in the movie. Which there is actually a novel where that happens. Right. But people were coming at Rian Johnson like, when does that ever happen? When can he do that? He never does that. Novel doesn't make any sense. And he went, actually he does, but also it doesn't matter. Like, it's compelling for the story.
Did you see what Rian Johnson did in response to that online?
He posted a bunch of the lore and stuff he knows about.
He even went further than that. He actually had his phone out in first person view, and he had his hand, and he went to a bookshelf that he had, and he pulled out the book, and then he opened to the page where it says that Jedi can astral project, and I was like, "Wow, man, came with receipt." You know what I'm saying?
But yes,
I agree with Paul.
And I was gonna segue Marcus in here as well. There's a lot of source material because they've got audio books that have been written by several different authors over the years that have been through these 3 phases, Marcus, of the High Republic. Kavan Scott has been a big contributor. Charles Soule has been a big contributor. There's been numerous others. I think Jose Older has been a part of it as well. A lot of writers, okay? And they've written both young adult types themed stories. They've done audio books. They've done novels. They've done comics. Does it feel like it might be too ambitious for us to be able to condense to make it sensical of what they're trying to do with this series?
I think so. I think to try. Oh, go ahead, Marcus. Sorry, that was for you. I totally forgot. Sorry. Interception. Sorry. I'll cop that one. That's my fault. I apologize, Marcus.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone, and good evening, I should say.
Good evening.
Hey. So, as far as pulling from lore from the literary end of things, I think that's actually what they should be doing more because there's such a treasure trove of really good stuff out there. And even some of the I've mentioned this before too. Even some of the video game stuff that's been out that hasn't been tackled from a cinematic perspective would be really good. So I think there could be some really cool stuff there. I think I don't know. We seem to still be keeping ourselves in this little box. Still kind of circling around High Republic, Skywalker saga area. I would like to see it go back even further than that, Old Republic. Even further, where it's like just there's a plethora.
You're talking
of
like 400 or 500 years back.
Yeah. I like to see it go even further back. But as far as the Acolyte, whenever that comes out, I think that'll be interesting. If they keep it like a mystery thriller sort of thing. It'll be fun to watch.
You're gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
we
I'll watch
have
Star
to
Wars.
watch it. We have no choice.
Well, you didn't have to. I didn't know you didn't like Star Wars.
I do like Star Wars,
but you don't like us.
Not what
no, I hate you guys.
Okay.
Did I say that out loud? I'm really
just clarifying.
sorry.
Just clarifying.
I like you guys. As far as you know.
Drink up, Shane.
Yeah. But I think if they did tackle
the wrong one.
Sweet mother's milk.
If they did tackle some more of this literary stuff, I think then we would have less of those sort of interactions where you're having people posting them, pulling out the books and saying this is where it's at and all that. But at the same time, we also need to kind of remember to look at this stuff from its own separate sort of compartments. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to keep the cinematic universe. We need to realize and have sense enough to know that there's a literary world to this as well that may not follow the cinematic universe, that may either expound upon the cinematic universe or may detract from it. depending on
Marvel's
what's going on
ruined
it.
everything.
So,
Yeah.
They blew the curve.
so it's kind of like after
do
a while,
anything,
Star Wars has become such a brand in the zeitgeist of our
Everybody's
culture.
got their opinion.
Yeah, and
There's no way to get around that.
it's kind of like Batman. I mean, like
Sure.
Batman, everyone knows who Batman is, and there's all kinds of different versions and individual impressions of Batman and what Batman
Should
means
be.
to you
Yeah.
and what he should be. Some think he should be just the detective. Some think he should be the campy one that's funny, kind of like Adam West.
Right.
Whatever.
Doing
So
the Batusi.
yeah, so you have all these different, impressions and really Star Wars is at the point now where we have to get used to that, understanding that we're going to have that same sort of thing with them. We're going to have the serious stories. We might have the fun, lighthearted stories more for the family friendly sort of audiences. And just kind of make sure you evaluate each thing on its own within its
Merit,
own.
sure.
I'm just
Yeah.
hoping it leans more towards the top tier Star Wars stuff that we've gotten, and not like another Boba Fett or another
pointless show.
another
Yeah.
Obi-Wan type of thing, to where you finish
Another
to
pointless
where you
show.
finish it.
Well,
You
you
just
like
go,
Boba Fett,
"Oh."
though,
Not
right?
my
All right.
Boba Fett.
Yeah.
He did like Boba
Really
Fett.
quick, I wanted to ask you guys. Paul just made me think about something as far as the novels. To go back to those Timothy Zahn books, that trilogy,
Yeah.
the Heir to the Empire. That was called those books. If they had just adapted those as episodes 7, 8, and 9, would you have been cool with it? Not cool with it?
I
Would
mean,
you have been upset? Would you have been happy?
I think I would.
because there was source material, right? There's all the
Yeah.
source material.
Plenty of it.
I mean, I am probably.
It's all a hypothetical.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I like the first, and I know I'm probably on an island. I really like the first two of the sequel trilogy. I do not like the third one very much. First of all, the caveat to all this, I enjoy watching Star Wars, even the bad stuff. It's fun to watch weird, zany, sci-fi stuff going
I
on.
don't believe that.
I enjoy
Agreed.
it. No, I do. I really do. I like
Good,
watching
bad, or
stuff
indifferent.
in
I'll
general.
watch everything Star
But
Wars.
That is true.
I do enjoy those two, so I think it would have worked to just do those 2 or 3 books as the sequel trilogy. But knowing what I know, and I love The Last Jedi, and I very much The Force Awakens, if you guys don't know, made me switch my major in college. From my major was criminal justice. I did go back and end up finishing that.
You changed it to Jedi.
I changed it to film. I went and saw The
Jedi
Force Awakens.
183 or there. Good.
I went and saw The Force Awakens like probably as many times, if not more, than I've ever seen a movie in theater. I think I saw it like 5 times in theaters. I loved it. The complaint that it's A New Hope again,
Yeah.
sure, that doesn't really bother me. Return of the Jedi is A New Hope again. So if you like Return of the Jedi and you don't like that for that reason, I guess to each their own. But point being, I really like those movies, so losing them would be kind of sad. But those do sound good.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is that we're at a point now with Star Wars. There's so much stuff now with the books, with the comics,
With the comics, the books, the movies,
video
the
games, movies,
Video games.
everything you kind of pick and choose. It's like a buffet. So I mean, at the end of the
$200
year,
lightsabers.
it's all your
It's all there.
all your $200 lightsabers, the Happy Meals, and whatever else. At the end of the year, it is rumored that we're going to get Skeleton Crew is going to be out on Disney Plus as well. That'll be another live action streaming series. That's the Jude Law, I think, series that's going to be out towards the end of the year. Disney Plus is, we're never short on content.
Yeah.
We're never short on stuff to watch, whether it's Shane's favorite show, Mighty Ducks, Game Changers, or right now, X-Men 97.
Oh my
Donovan has been
God,
incredible.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to get just a moment. I know. Breathe for a moment. Okay. Towards the end of the year, we're going to be getting the Agatha series. It's changed titles so many times, Marcus. I don't even know what it's called anymore. I'm just calling it Agatha Show.
Agatha Flea Flu.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's going to be called at this point because they've changed the title like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The only MCU film we're going to get is Deadpool. We're going to have this live action Agatha series towards the end of the year, we think. Going forward, they were saying there's another one of those announcements that came out earlier this week that the MCU is only going to plan on doing 2 to 3 films max and 2 live action series.
Good.
Is that plan is that do you think that will be effective for what they're trying to get to down the road?
Well, my question is, what are they trying to get to down the road?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is
That's
the
a
real
better
question.
I mean, they want to make more money. I'm assuming.
X-Men, Fantastic Four. That's
Yeah.
Great.
needs to be
Okay.
the stories they build.
Great. They want to make more money. How are you going to do that?
Make good
Fantastic
stories.
Four.
Right. But what story are you going to tell?
X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Right. But what's the story? You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
that's the deal. Is like yes, that seems to be a great formula.
You need
It worked in the past.
Yeah.
Let's go back to that. We don't need to be throwing out everything
And seeing
all
if it
everywhere
sticks,
all at
yeah.
once.
Echo and Agatha series. Like, who asked for that?
Yeah, no one asked for an Echo series. No one asked for Agatha. Well, no, that's not true. We
everybody
were
loves
all
Catherine
loving
Hahn.
Agatha when she was around.
Back
When
then,
WandaVision came out,
everybody
but
loved
they-
her.
Agatha all along.
They didn't.
Everybody loves Catherine
Capitalize
Hahn,
on
so
that.
they're just like Catherine
Catherine Hahn
you
is
need to
major
show.
sass.
She's got
Yeah.
sass
She for days.
up the wazoo. She
I
got
like
sass.
I like the formula. I think
Great
scaling
sass.
back absolutely makes sense.
She's got a great sass.
Let's just
Your head, it's all the way up it.
yeah.
But we thought that we're going to get the Agatha show was going to be a spin-off or was going to have some direct correlation with. Are we in Westview? We don't. I mean, I'm assuming that's where we're at.
I'm assuming.
We don't know. We haven't seen anything about
I
it.
know we haven't really seen
don't know
what
where
this story
Vision
is going
is.
to be.
We don't know where Vision is.
We don't know.
Spectral white Vision.
They kind of
He's
dropped
out
the
there.
ball on Photon when it came to the
Yeah,
Marvels.
they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
But just speaking about the X-Men, the rumor was that the X-Men film is, as far as the MCU is concerned, it will be in an alternate universe. It won't be in the main MCU timeline.
That is what the
and then it will be
rumor is,
brought.
yeah.
It'll be brought into,
I think they're saying the same thing
MCU.
about Fantastic Four.
and I think Fantastic Four as well.
And when it comes to X-Men, when it comes to Fantastic Four, it's as simple as this. What was I going to say? No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
No matter what you do, Fantastic Four, they need to get if the visuals aren't there, then the story will be pointless because we've had a Fantastic Four in other iterations and nothing has worked out. The visuals, I think, is the
But it
thing
didn't
they
have the
need to work
connectivity,
out
though, either.
completely.
Yeah, it didn't.
You know what I mean?
It
Like,
needs.
We got an announcement that's Fantastic Four related today, Paul.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Ralph Ineson as Galactus. That's an incredible casting.
what was he in?
He's in
Game of Thrones.
He's in
He was
Game
in
of
Game of
Thrones,
Thrones,
the
Blue's
Vivitch,
The Witch.
Blue's Clues,
I don't know if he's in Blue's Clues or not.
and Chernobyl. He's got
was in
like a
Chernobyl.
lot
Blue's
of gravitas, a deep voice, big old Galactus.
He was, he was in Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
He was in the Harry Potter ones. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce. He was in a couple. He was in a couple Harry Potter movies.
I think he was one of the teachers in the Goblet of Fire.
But he's
maybe?
one of the. He's
Harry
one
Potter
of
and
the
the Chamber of Commerce?
in the. He's watching the wall in Game of Thrones.
Oh,
His-
yeah.
What's his name? I'm trying to. He's got a weird last name in the series. Cleftjaw or something like that.
Left
in
jaw.
Game of Thrones.
But that's great casting. Like I think he would.
He's
his
great.
voice is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Have you heard his voice?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very big and booming. Are we worried about these movies being in other universes?
No, I don't care.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Hey,
Are
hey,
you?
hey, Frank.
Oh, 1,000%.
Hey,
Yes.
Frank.
1,000%.
Marcus.
So, to answer your question, I think that
What? Oh, that.
Did we jump over Marcus?
It's my get. No,
I think to
he's clowning
answer
me.
your question, the benchmark, I like that they have, like, they're saying they're only going to do 2 to 3 and then 2 series or whatever. I think that's good that they have that kind of like working goal, but they shouldn't feel like they need to stick to it. If something more inspiring happens or something happens, they need to, But
Go with it.
don't benchmark yourself like that, you know. Because what if you don't? What if you just get 2?
But that's what I was going to
You know what I
ask.
mean?
Is that weren't they putting out 4 movies next year? Does that mean something got delayed?
Well,
were
they're
there gonna be
rewriting
4?
Blade for the 5th time.
But Blade's probably not coming out, is what they're saying.
Yeah,
They're gonna
Blade.
push it
Yeah,
to-
That ain't coming
There's
out.
a movie in
Nobody-
February. I think there's a movie in May next year, and then Fantastic Four is July,
right.
and then I think Thunderbolts is later in the year.
I think what they're saying after this slate of currently in production movies, they're gonna.
Then they're gonna stick to that
I
formula.
think the Fantastic Four is going to be the last like big thing they announce and are working on.
They have shows filmed that they haven't put
And-
out yet.
and-
Didn't they shoot the
but-
Ironheart thing.
No, but that's what I'm saying. All these Ironheart shows are going to come out. I think the one that's latest in production right now that we know about is Fantastic Four. And I think it won't be until after some of these already in the can things that you're talking about come out that they announce the next thing after Fantastic Four. I think they're going to probably work off only having a few things announced at the same time instead of being like, here's 19 movies that's going to happen in the next 2 years.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that at Hall H this year.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Talk about next year.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the next 15 years.
And coming, I don't think
These
they
are the
can.
37 projects we have.
I think
mapped
they
out.
know they can't do that anymore. I think
They
it's a
can't.
waste of time for
Or
them.
they
to do
keep
that.
the announcements small done at Hall H in July, and then when they do D23, which is September, end of August, September, when they do that, you can add stuff to it, and then you can show more stuff about what you talked about in Hall H.
Yeah.
Or you just bring out the actors and show one trailer, and then when you get to D23, then you can showcase all your stuff, and then by that time we might be getting a trailer for Skeleton Crew.
I can't believe they made an Echo TV.
What actually would be
You
kind of
didn't
cool
see it.
too?
You never watched it.
What could
Yeah.
be cool too is if they just
see it.
took a page from Steve Jobs' book and they just made an announcement whenever they have something to say. You know that like, hey, this is the new movie. Here's the new iPod. You know,
Yeah.
all you have to do is just put it out there. Oh, Steve Jobs is about to make another announcement. Something. Oh, it might be the new this. It might be the new
Kind of
that.
how they're handling Superman.
Right. They should do it that way. That way, there's anticipation, there's excitement. You could make it exclusive to Disney Plus. You know, live. Here's Bob Iger announcing Fantastic Four, whatever.
I don't
You
know that studios can get away with not telling people like what's coming though. Like if you go like, hey, like,
But I think he's saying like, don't try to mandate that it all comes out at D23.
1,000%.
Right.
that-
Don't do
Stop
that.
Obviously, they're
doing
going to
that.
announce it, but
Yeah, don't do the huge planetarium,
stop
size
that.
timeline where you have like, oh, and then
27
2030
things,
Yeah, 2030 we're gonna have this part 3, and no, just as it comes, just kind of just give
This
us
is
a
coming
little
out.
Well,
something.
they
That's
had
fun.
a clearer picture back then too. They knew where they wanted to
Yeah, now
start,
they don't.
and they knew where they
Right.
wanted to end. It was clear as day. Even him going, you know what? I didn't like the title of that Captain America movie. Can we get that updated and it changed to Captain America Civil War?
I think that might have been planned.
No, I know.
Probably.
I know.
It sounded like you were saying they were gonna. Okay, I understand what you're saying now.
Yeah,
It's audible.
they.
I
planned-
thought
my
you were saying they were like,
God.
actually, I don't like that one.
No.
That's
I'm
what it
saying
sounded
it's
like you were saying.
They were super intentional about every project
Right.
that
Sure.
was coming out. There's
Right.
no intent. Well, I don't want to say there's no intention. That's a very broad statement, but it doesn't feel like there's as
They
much
had a little bit too much
intentionality
dip
with
on their
these-
chip.
Yeah, a little too much dip in their chip, a little too much flop on their drop.
What?
I don't
Speaking
know.
of flopping,
Onion dip.
all right, everybody.
That's great.
Speaking of flopping and dropping and copping and whatever, it's time. What are we doing? We've wasted enough time talking about all this other stuff. It's time for cop or drop.
Did you tell me to do this?
What are you guys doing over here?
That was
Enough, Paul, enough. It's time for cop or drop. So grab your books, schnooks, and let's do this the way we always do it, like we used to.
Yeah, baby.
Paulie, you're first. Hit it.
That was amazing.
that was
Don't drop the ball, Paul.
that was incredible. No, I'm asking in it. That was wow. I don't know. So I don't know how to follow that up. So I'm going to talk about The Incredible Hulk by Philip Kennedy Johnson.
That's a good one.
Art by Nick Klein and
the
colors
winner.
by Matt Wilson.
Can I see that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is the Incredible Hulk number 12, following giant-sized Hulk and 11 and 10, and it's getting towards the end of the New Orleans arc, and Charlie is trapped in kind of a voodoo, or no, she's trapped in a doll, and Hulk and Banner get put into this kind of almost Phantom Zone-esque voodoo prison that's on a different plane. And it's both Banner and Hulk who are going across this kind of wasteland to find the Flesh Weaver, who is going to build Charlie a new body to get her out of this kind of statue she's trapped in because her body was destroyed. And it takes place at the Strange Academy. And it's Really cool. The art from Nick Klein
It's amazing.
is stellar. I liked Earl's. He did the last part of the arc in New Orleans, but New Orleans, whatever. But I like Nick Klein tad more, and it's just a very interesting situation to put the Hulk in, where he has to do something with Banner. They're both present at the same time in this other plane, and I'm really excited for the next issue. And shout out Philip Kennedy Johnson. The Las Vegas arc is coming up, and that's going to be really cool for all of us here in the studio. And so that's my first book, The Incredible Hulk. And my second book, shout out Free Comic Book Day. This is Absolute Power #1 by Mark Waid, Mikkel Janin, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the colorist, but shout out that person. Bolhilv, I tried it. But so before I get into the comic, shout out Free Comic Book Day, which I'm sure Frank is going to talk a little bit more about as well. We have a video on the channel about it that Frank went and shot with Bronson and I put together. Please go check it out. It's a really cool and fun kind of family environment. They get a little freaky, but it's really, really fun. So go check that out after the live show. So, anyways. Oh, there we go.
There it is.
Appreciate you, Quan.
Oh, freaky. Family environment. They get back. Yeah, they get freaky.
Well,
I see a couple. Of
Nick
freaks in there.
Daniels in
Well,
particular.
one really.
Yeah.
That ain't too bad.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
Oh, there he is.
Was
What a
picked up
cutie.
on that day, and it's the kind of culmination of the House of Brainiac story Williamson is doing. The stuff Mark Waid is kind of doing in World's Finest is he's going to be writing Absolute Power, but his storyline in World's Finest isn't so tied into it yet. And also Zdarsky's Batman, all kind of coming together. 2 runs that I kind of like and one that I love. And the writer of the one that I love is going to be doing the event. So that makes me really happy. It's going to be Waid and Mora on as the creatives. And I think it's hard to miss with them, even if it's like, it's hard to be a bad comic with those two. It might just be okay, but I'm very excited to see where it goes. And the art of Failsafe from Waid and even Janin in this issue, really cool. And it was one of the pickups I had from Free Comic Book Day.
Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice.
I can't get over this Hulk. This is
pretty
just
cool.
very, very cool.
Nick Klein is killing that. He really is.
It's just
He's killing
beautiful. All right, Marcus, you're up.
Shane lost some steam.
I know. I'm just,
Oh, he's just
I'm staring
distracted.
at how
He's tired.
great
He needs another
how
drink.
great Hulk is right now, and it's very, very tough to focus.
It's
All
pretty
right,
cool.
Marcus.
Yes. So yes,
Do the thing.
kind of continuing off of what he was saying about Free Comic Book Day being last Saturday. This honestly was probably one of the better Free Comic Book Days we've had in the world. I was actually genuinely excited with the plethora of titles, and they all read very well and were very cool. But I have to I got to start with some of our local boys. Okay,
Cool.
So May 4th, Free Comic Book Day. Box Boy and Whiskers number 8 by our boy Stephen Lito came. It came out. He debuted it during his signing at Phantomverse. Shout out to Phantomverse Comics. They put on an excellent event. Stephen Lito was there. Our friend James Stone was there, set up, giving out sketches and selling some of his
I got a
stuff
free
as well.
sketch from James.
Vic Moya was there. It was a great time. It was really cool. And this is the final issue of his first story arc for Box Boy and Whiskers, and it is a great issue. A very big reveal in it. And this is a great book in general. This kind of reminds me a little bit about X-Men, how, it can be fun for everyone in the family, but still have some of those darker, heavier themes in it.
That's what Steven talked about too.
Yeah,
for sure.
it can get real dark, but at the same time, it's still family friendly. So it's very, very good. Shout out to Steven. Good job, man. So I'm chomping at the bit for the next story arc for sure. And then James Stone, speaking of him, Welcome to Cape Haven is his original story as well.
Yeah.
And yes, awesome. It's 7 issues plus a one shot, or 6 issues plus a one shot, so 7 in total. And you're following a main character, Hugo Danner, which is this guy pictured here. And he's returning back to the city of Cape Haven, which is this kind of like utopian sort of city where supers and regular humans live in harmony. He's come back after being away for some time, and throughout each issue, you're steadily being shown exactly what he used to do while in Cape Haven as a super, and you get to meet the various characters that he formed a team with throughout the years. And you also learn that he's been around a long time, because the one shot, which you can read separately, is set back in the 1930s. So he's been around a while, and he's still looking young and dapper. So maybe a little bit of kind of immortality in his superpower ness, But by issue 3, a character comes to him, kind of like what Cable does to the X-Men. He kind of comes from the future and kind of shows him what's happening in the future, and he doesn't like it. It turns out to not be so good, so he takes that knowledge back to the present and tries to prepare for his adversary that he will face along with this other group of superheroes that he's putting together down the road. Very cool. Vic Moya also did a lot of the inking and some of the covers for that series.
Very cool.
Phenomenal. And then these two, I'll just mention these two together because everyone knows that I'm a big fan of all the crossovers. I mean, I've already talked, especially with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, it seems like they cross over with everyone, whether it be Ghostbusters, Usagi Yojimbo. We had the Street Fighter Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover that I talked about in a previous week. And now we have Street Fighter versus Final Fight, another free comic book day release, and crossing over one of my very first Super Nintendo games I ever bought.
That is nuts.
And it was also one of my favorite arcade games growing up as well. Yeah. Super cool. And it's basically you have Cody from Final Fight and Hagar. They're at odds with each other over how the city's being ran. Metro City's being plagued with crime. And Cody's kind of being that vigilante, and so he's bumping heads with Hagar, who's still the mayor, and then Street Fighter, the characters Guile and Chung Li and Ryu, they're kind of on the Interpol side of things. They're working for Interpol, and they're after Cody for his vigilante activities. Very cool. Lots of fun. If you like Street Fighter, if you like Final Fight, definitely something that you want to consider. And then finally, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles free comic book day release.
Nice.
Who is the Night Watcher? So if anyone's not up to speed with the current canon of books, essentially you have a mutagen bomb that went off that basically turned half of the city into mutants. And so we have this new mysterious, it looks like a turtle, but it's a vigilante type anti-hero that is coming out into the woodwork and kind of doing almost like a Robin Hood sort of thing, where he's like taking from the criminals who steal and then giving it back to the people who are more in need within the city. So this is one of those comics where if you're not used to the half of the world now being sort of anthropomorphic at this point due to that mutagen bomb going off, and you're not up to speed, you're kind of like, oh, is this a turtle? Is this not? Who is this guy? So that's the mystery. So kind of a new character that's getting introduced into the new world, into the lure of turtles. And this covers by Junie Ba, who's pretty awesome. Yeah,
that's a really nice cover.
Yeah, so those are mine. And then there was a bunch of others as well, but I mean, everything has been phenomenal, including the stuff that didn't get released during Free Comic Book Day. The main pool stuff like Blood Hunt. I ended up reading the first Blood Hunt. It was pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Solid, right?
Yeah, it's pretty solid.
Frankie Fruit.
But, speaking of Blood Hunt, we're going to have
Frankie Fruit,
resident Blood Hunt / Jed McKay expert.
What?
Live on the line next week. Brendan, the Collector Without Fear, will be live.
Nice.
On the line next week.
Very cool.
He'll be calling in. He's taking a break from Maddie the puppy and to spend some time with us.
Nice.
Wow.
Really quick, I just want to say about Free Comic Book Day, it was incredible to go into all these shops. I went to 4 stores on Saturday.
Nice.
Every place was packed.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yes.
That's cool.
And all the kids and all the young readers that were in line getting books, getting free sketches.
You tear up?
I would say this. I got a little emotional. I would say this to publishers. Please put out more books for kids for Free Comic Book Day. You got to make it more accessible for younger readers. You got to put out more stuff for kids. You got to inspire them. You got to give them some more stuff to read. There was a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's got to be more stuff for kids.
Yes.
We got to put out more books for younger readers.
At the end of the day, this is what these are for. Comic
You're
books, yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
right. It was awesome to see. There's parents, there were grandparents with their kids, with grandkids, whatever, like hanging out in the shops, picking up books, getting free sketches. Over the Fandomverse, like you said,
Right.
they did free signings. That's like an awesome experience. You had James Stone, Lolito is signing books. You had Vic Moya. Everybody's like, they're doing free sketches, man. It's like an awesome experience for like
James Stone Iron Man that he drew for he drew for you was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah.
cool. He did a really good job.
He asked him James asked him asked Frank if he wanted new school or old school Iron Man, and Frank said like old school. And the one he drew is just absolutely the most incredible.
I'll post it up on our IG.
Yeah.
It's so
tonight.
pretty.
I fell in love with his old school Blade. I loved
Yeah,
his
he's-
old school Blade.
he
I
knows,
took that
man.
home. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
did a
He's
great job. It
something.
was an awesome event. I encourage you guys every year. It's the first Saturday in May.
Yes.
Take the time off. Take the kids.
Yeah.
Take someone's kids. Go to Free Comic Book Day and go down there and check out a shop and go
Yes.
hang out. Get free comics and you meet people in the local community and you support some. Buy something too. Go and support an LCS. It's awesome. It was a great time. It was
Ask them if you can take their kids.
ask them if you take their kids and then take them to the
Take
shop.
Donovan's kids.
Yeah,
For gosh
take Donovan's
sakes.
kids.
Take, please.
You can rent them.
Please.
Please take
He needs
You take
somebody
Jack,
take these
Cam,
kids.
come to the
little
shop.
Jackie Boy
Go
and
to the shop.
hamsters.
My God.
They love
Real
going to the
quick,
comic book
take-
shop.
Real quick, you guys mentioned Blood Hunt, Doctor Strange. This is directly following after the first issue of Blood Hunt, the end of the first issue.
Nice.
It actually puts a disclaimer here, the little cover by Alex Ross, and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
He's been doing them for a while,
Strange there
right?
with his
Yes.
with his fangs there. It's very cool.
Look
He
at
does
those
the art
teeth.
cover artwork. It puts a little warning in there. It's like, you must read Blood Hunt #1 prior to reading this issue. It tells you right there that you've got to read that, right?
Thank God I have Doctor Strange on pull.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
But
I'd be
it's
lost already.
It's a really fun story because this Blade going head to head with Clea after something happens to Steven. So
Yes.
it's pretty crazy.
And that has an impact on the Hulk book, and that's why it's Dr. Voodoo who is
Yeah,
doing the
Brother
thing
Voodoo.
with Brother Voodoo who's
Yeah.
doing the thing with Hulk
Brother
instead
Voodoo.
of Doctor
It's
Strange
like
because
Brother
he's
Love.
indisposed with that. Yeah.
But guys,
Go
and I was
do
going to
that
talk to
voodoo
Brendan about
that
this
you do
next
so
week.
well.
There's like 50 something tie-ins to the whole Blood Hunt event, right? It felt like 8 of them came out this week. There was like a ton of stuff that came out. I've only read like 4 or 5 books this week. Beneath the Trees Nobody Sees finale was incredible. I
forgot
read
to,
that
yeah.
this week. That was amazing. Crocodile Black, we read that a month ago, but I read it again yesterday.
Yeah,
it was
I read that as
incredible.
well.
Great job. And this is something else I've really been looking forward to. If you're a fan of Jorge Corona, who's currently doing the
Yeah.
artwork for Transformers, he's partnered up again with Scotty Young. If you know them for their 2 previous series, they did Middle West and The Me That You Love in the Dark, a couple different
good book.
fantasy, it's kind of horror type of thing. This is a fantasy Western type of series. Lead character's name is Ryder, and she used to be a real bad person. She used to be like a life of crime, and she was really violent. She turned away from that. She found a family, so she kind of had like a second outlook on life. She's given a sort of like a diagnosis, like a terminal disease, and she decides to go back to her way of violence. And the artwork throughout this book is like ridiculous, just like Sunset.
It's giving
this
American
artwork.
Vampire.
Wow.
It's really crazy. And then basically she's decided that she's going to go to war and she's going to kill death itself. So
Nice.
it's pretty crazy. Again, if you like Jorge Corona's art, I mean, it's incredible. Scotty Young does a great job with this. Scotty Young is a really good writer. He's a really fun artist, but he's a really great writer as well. That's a limited series. Again, wanted to mention Free Comic Book Day this past weekend was incredible. Go to Free Comic Book Day next year, you guys. There's so much good stuff for you to check out, and it's all for free. You
Yeah.
can check out free comics for free. You walk around, you get free books, you meet some people.
People,
And,
I'm surprised that people don't realize that it's nationwide. It's not just like certain stores, because every one at work I talked about.
Every store was packed.
Every
Marcus.
store was packed, and when I'm at work and I talk about Free Comic Book Day and all this stuff, I tell them it's nationwide, so you can go to any comic book store that's worth seasoning salt and go and get some free books. You know, it's not just certain stores. A lot of people think it's just certain stores around the city. No. Find out where your local one is, map it out, and go and see what they have. Now every store does have something different. So that is something, like there are a couple of maybe 5 or 6 main titles that everyone's probably going to have. You're always going to have a Batman. You're always going to have a Spider-Man. You're always going to have something, some of those staple characters. But depending on the store and their clientele, they may have more of the independent stuff waiting for you, or more of the family-friendly stuff, depending on if their clientele is more families or if they're more adults that buy from them. So I would encourage people to not only go to their closest one, but also venture out from there as well, because you might find something totally different, and then each store celebrates it differently.
Sure. Yeah. I just want to shout out the video of Frankie again. Thank you to Bronson so much for that, and the guys at the store 1, store 2, store 1, Maximum Comics, Jay, all those guys over there, Jet, everyone who partook in the video. Please go watch it, and you see just how many people were there, how much fun everybody was having, and it's really very cool. And also shout out to, I know we just did our books and Frank kind of touched on it. I really want to shout out Philip Kennedy Johnson's Crocodile Black and Patrick Horvath's Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. Those two guys have been very kind and promoting our show and coming on our show to talk about their stuff. No Diddy. Coming on our show to talk about their stuff. And I just cannot say enough good things about them. Go check out those books, especially, obviously read Incredible Hulk, but read Crocodile Black. That's creator owned. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson's book. Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. That's Patrick Horvath's book. Go read those books if you read anything from them, and can't say enough good things about them. And shout out to Quan. Go watch the Frank's reaction to the Acolyte trailer, which is also a video edited and put together by Quan with Frank. Please go watch that as well.
Can I say who won this week?
Yeah,
sure. Before we go any further.
Yes.
Ain't No Grave is amazing looking. What an amazing looking book. I need to read it immediately. That's probably the number 2. But the winner this week is Steve Alito, Box Boy and Whiskers.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, all right.
Because he's a cool dude, and I love his tude.
You really blew it all out before the before this segment.
Yeah, man.
You already blew it.
Check out Box Boy and Whiskers as fast as you can, because that is the dope stuff. And Ain't No Grave is also dope. Everybody else's books are dope, but those are the 2 that win this week for Cop or Drop.
All right. All right.
I was going to mention too, Shane, this past week, the Transformers, the trade paperback came out for Transformers.
Yes. It's in my poll.
So we'll have that available for you next week to check out.
Excited to read that.
I'm very excited to read that too.
Transformers
We were talking about that.
Incredible.
Oh yeah, Energon Universe came out too. Both the Free Comic Book Day issue.
It's got 3 stories in there.
Yeah, and issue 1 this week. Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
I've got the trade sitting in my pull box, and since 6 came out, which is what the trade is, 1 through 6, I have 7, 8, and I think those are the only 2 that's come out since. 7 and 8 are out, maybe 9, but I have those on my pull box, and I got the Energon Free Comic Book Day. So I'm gonna get all caught up on all of that at once this weekend, maybe next, and I'm real excited about that.
It's good stuff.
Donovan, in addition to the series being incredible, Marvel went back to print out a kind of like a limited series for X-Men 97. But I know you've been enjoying the series right now on the Plus, where we've got 1 week left. We got 1 episode left.
Yes.
What have you thought about this series so
The
far?
show makes me want to read X-Men.
Yeah.
It's pure and simple. I watched. I keep playing footsies with
Donovan
Paul
and I
under
are
the
playing
table
footsies.
here.
It's okay.
And
He likes it.
I gotta tell you,
it.
I'm really liking it.
I knew it.
No, I watched this show, and just the last episode of them referencing a fatal attraction of
Wow.
adamantium being pulled out of Wolverine's skeleton. Sorry, spoiler alert.
For a comic that's 30 years old.
Right. It made me go, I haven't read enough X-Men.
Yeah.
I have not read enough.
Yeah.
So I'm watching this show. I'm blown away by the writing. I'm blown away by the animation. They've really captured me. And I've fallen in love with the X-Men again, which is fantastic. I can't wait for the season finale of this. This has been so grounded, and so there's a part where Jean and Storm they have their heads touching each other and they talk, and
It's
Jean
touching,
says
yeah.
she says you weather the storm, or weather the storm here, and she says you weather the mind.
Right.
I forget
You mind the weather or weather the mind or something like
yeah,
that.
she's like you mind the weather and you
very
weather the mind,
touching.
and I was just like, oh,
It's touching, man.
what
You,
the
wait. You
heck,
make them.
dude?
You make them weather your mind, and I. Oh wait. You
I will
make them mind
weather
your
the storm, and I will make them weather their mind.
Something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
I was blown away.
yeah,
I just
poetry.
like
That's
there's
good
just stuff like this. that they've-
Nightcrawler. Like
The scene
most
with
of
him and
Hurt
Wolverine.
Bogdan.
Oh my
Amazing.
god, dude! It's so good.
It's good. Like it touches you, man. Like
Big Hog Dre was texting me about it. He
it's,
loves
it
it.
touches.
I
you.
love it too. I can't
the
get
song.
We
enough
talking
of
about
it.
Rogue and like Nightcrawler scenes. Pretty nice.
I said in our group chat, I said it's my favorite thing that Disney Plus has done, right behind Loki.
Yeah.
As far as Marvel is concerned, Andor is still number one for me. But as far as Marvel is concerned,
Yeah.
as far as Marvel's concerned, this is right
Yeah.
behind Loki as far as the television
She's
shows.
wearing Gambit's jacket.
Dude, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
mean, just the
nice.
the to everything. It's been a
Dude.
great show. And if you,
It's been great.
and what's cool about this is like someone said, I didn't watch previous X-Men.
really need to.
You really do not need to.
No.
This stands alone on its own. Yeah, you can watch a quick 5-minute video of what led him to the first episode of X-Men 97, and that'll suffice.
Yeah, that'll be
Right.
You're fine. But please, if you haven't
Watch it.
watched this show and you really love comic books,
And it's very rare that we all agree on something to this level. Well, you know, it's got to be good. When it came to Andor, we all agreed on that.
Sure,
like
yeah.
when it comes to certain things, we do all agree on it. Loki, Andor, this, you know,
Pizza.
the pizza, chopped cheeses,
Shane's
Yeah.
beard.
my beard,
Chicken wings.
Shane's
but
intro to New Comic Book Day.
Absolutely.
That
Everybody
was
loves it.
amazing.
But I'm telling you,
I'm
you're
gonna
right,
record that
Donovan.
tonight.
Everybody, this is a pretty great show. Like I
haven't seen one person go, yeah, it's not doing it for me.
Yeah.
You know how you know it's great? Shane made it through a whole paragraph talking about it without mentioning any shakukas.
That is
He's
true.
being engaged by other things while
Yes,
watching it.
other than Shakuka.
So it was like you make them mind your weather, and I'll weather their and I'll have them weather. They'll have to weather your mind or something.
Can
like
we just
that.
do the last 10 minutes of this show, you two saying that back and
Yeah.
I'm not
we
going
need to go.
again. I am not going again. No.
That was
But actually
good.
reenact it,
That
put your
was
heads
good.
together
That was
and-
so
Whether
great.
your brain,
And it
your
is.
weather-
But
Do the whole
Only
scene.
if I can be Storm.
Next week, do the scene. Yeah, the whole scene.
But I mean, that's just. I mean, but what you were saying, like that, just those lines. There's a lot of poetic lines that have been spoken throughout this whole series, whether it be Magneto's speeches, whether it be
Scott's speech.
Scott's speech, whether it be even the stuff that was going on between Forge and Storm, you know, when during the life and death, you know, when she was dealing with her struggles with getting her powers back.
There's a brief moment with Jean and Wolverine.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I mean, masterfully done. Masterfully done. I mean,
For animated series, this is top notch.
Masterfully
and then they
done.
fired the director.
Yes.
Yeah, because he has an OnlyFans or something. That's what I
Oh,
heard.
was it a PR issue why
that
they fired
was
him?
what it was. He had an
Maybe,
OnlyFans.
Oh, I
Which
thought
by
it
the
was
way, does not mean he was
Yeah.
selling. It could have meant. I think the concern was he can post pictures of confidential like NDA stuff on OnlyFans
And it
without
can't be-
them
and-
knowing because
yes.
it's behind a paywall. That's
There
why
you
he wasn't
go.
allowed to have it.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he got fired. Not because they were like, oh, he's posting pictures of his junk. Like, that probably is not what was happening.
No.
That's not what everyone has an OnlyFans
Right.
for.
Right.
But
It's like a Patreon.
Frank?
basically.
But
Here's
it
the
does,
script. It's like,
yeah, but it does make me want to know, like how did they know he had an OnlyFans?
He probably wasn't.
episode 2.
like
He probably wasn't hiding it, and he didn't realize it was a breach or a possible breach of NDA or something.
right,
Yeah.
because that was my thing. Because when like I only got like snippets of it at first, and I was like, who at Disney is subscribed to him? That like, how did they know he had an OnlyFans? Like,
Bob
did someone
Iger.
did
Bob
somebody
Iger was
did someone
subscribed.
like
spy
did
on
somebody
him.
recognize
His only
him? Like,
subscriber,
like what
Bob
happened
Iger.
there? But
Hey man, that looks like no.
I love that Bob Iger talks like Shaft for some reason.
Hey, man.
I wasn't trying to
Hey,
be
brother.
Bob Iger.
Hey, man.
I was trying to be whoever the
This Disney Channel.
mysterious guy who
Can't have
followed
all
the
that on there, man.
You damn right.
You're the one that said it was Iger, not I.
watching the Disney Channel.
Shaft theme if some of our younger listeners don't know who that is.
oh man,
You damn right.
but
Oh my goodness.
well, hopefully,
Bob Iger.
hopefully that doesn't kill the show. Hopefully they can work something out.
I mean,
Oh, that's funny.
I wouldn't be mad at all if they did a second.
they
season.
might even bring him back. They might come to some kind of terms
Right.
and bring
I
him.
hope-
They did the
I
same
do.
thing with James Gunn in the MCU.
No, Brandon's
True.
saying that he was actually, there were rumors that he was horrible to the staffers on the show. He was
yeah.
horrible to staffers, and that he was in arguments with Marvel fans on his OnlyFans.
Oh, well, let me tell you something, my brother.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna last very long around here. As long
As you have
I'm
that.
the man, Bob. Biggie B. Igor, baby.
You see what I did to Jonathan Majors?
Bob Iger.
I'm not touching that one, Marcus.
Iger.
Bob Iger.
He's a man.
You damn right.
You like
You saw what happened to Jonathan
Tina
Majors.
Turner?
I'll
What's
cut you down in 2 weekends.
Marcus already sounds like it. Like he sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm the man here. That's right.
That's just
You're off
Marcus's
the
I don't-
voice.
I don't
I know
care.
his regular voice sounds like
Igor is a man.
That's right. You damn right.
Streaming,
That's right.
baby.
OnlyFans.
Only 2
Who
to
is
3
the
Marvel
man
productions.
who will
a
throw
year.
you out in a frying pan?
Bob Iger.
You damn right.
Going off the rails.
They see that Bob Iger is a damn.
what rails?
Shut your
That's
mouth.
But what if we did?
That's fair.
But what if we did instead of it being like a low, deep, sultry Bob Iger voice, but it was just Mickey?
You're damn right. You're damn right. Oh, oh, oh.
I hate that this was my fault. Wasn't trying to be Bob Iger. I was trying to be the mysterious guy who's following everybody's
It's
OnlyFans.
the greatest thing we've ever done.
Oh, brother. This is going to take like 10 minutes, so I'm going to start
That was
now.
podcasting if it was in the 80s right there.
Podcasting in the 80s.
I believe they call
80s
that
Detroit.
radio.
There you go.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Paul.
Podcasting in
Such
the
a
80s
thing
was called radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The radio.
Called the Howard Stern show.
Marcus, what do you got for the people? What's out?
But we're
what's
on a
up?
podcast.
I understand. Paul.
Well, echoing what we were talking about, go if you guys haven't checked it out yet, Disney Plus, go see X-Men 97.
Immediately.
Get on it.
Yeah, Quan.
Even if you're not a fan of X-Men or if you've never even heard of
You're gonna love
X-Men, this is a great introduction to the story, to the lore of the franchise in general. It's a great starting on point to get people interested.
Yes.
And then, yeah, it'll get you interested in the comics and make you want to go out there and see, read further about these characters.
Snicked.
I definitely would say that. And then, of course,
I'm drunk.
hey, yeah, go read comics. Go to your local comic book store. Check out some titles. See, bring your family, and just enjoy.
Bring Shane.
Yeah, exactly.
Shane. Foxy Brown.
If you haven't
There you
yet, watch X-Men 97. It's a great show. And if you haven't yet, actually, the weather. Yeah, how's it go? The weather is the mind, and the mind is what. But anyway, if you haven't yet, go watch the old episodes of X-Men from the 90s and do yourself a favor. Look at Rogue. Look at Storm.
Again, my fault.
Paul is about to faint from Just look at Rogue and Storm and Jean
embarrassed.
Grey, and it's some of the best animation you've ever seen in your whole life. Promise you. Bob Iger.
Donovan, what's happening?
Lord.
It's
Just in
announced
general, what's
Igor.
happening?
Igor?
Not much.
All right, cool, man.
That's it. I wish I had more to say.
I love Donovan.
How about
ex-
X-Men 97?
Yeah, I mean,
Just
X-Men 97. Yeah, go check that out.
Comic Book Day.
Go check out all of our videos online. We would love for you guys to check out our page, some of the stuff we got cooking. Frank did a great job with Free Comic Book Day and everybody that was involved with that, and even the reaction that him and Quan did for the Acolyte trailer is excellent as well. So please be sure to go visit our page, give those videos a like, subscribe if you haven't already.
Please.
But Paul will get more into that.
We
But
need-
anyway,
we need
yeah,
subscriptions, please.
I'm thrilled to be here today.
Oh yeah, I forgot also Joel Stokes. Artist Joel Stokes will be having a signing this coming Saturday from 1 to 4 at Alternate Reality. He's the guy who did my Comic Talk logo on my IG.
Oh,
And
very cool.
he
Comic
has
Talk approved, baby.
Yeah, baby. And then he has a whole book. His art is phenomenal. Check out his IG as well. It's really cool. Cool comic strip style art. Yeah, he's
Love
having
it.
a signing.
Very cool.
How can they find us back in the 70s with Shaft?
How can you find us back in the 70s with Shaft? You can find us back in the 70s with Shaft on at Into the West Comics on at Into the West Comics on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, where you're at with us right now. You can watch shorter versions of the long videos on TikTok and Instagram. Watch the full videos on YouTube. Go to Twitter to see what we're talking about for the show for the week and interacting with Philip Kennedy Johnson and such, and Patrick Horvath and those guys who all give a lot of love to the show. And also go to at Into the West Comics on any audio platform to listen to the audio version of the podcast.
You damn right.
Guys, let us know if you want to see more interviews every month, or you'd like to see an interview once in a while. You know, because we've been talking to some people out there about bringing, if you'd like to see us interview Richard Roundtree on the show in some capacity.
I like the fact that it said Shaft underneath Paul's face.
I think he just passed away.
well,
Still says Shaft. I'm not even going to.
Yeah, Richard Roundtree.
That is very funny.
We have to do a seance.
but guys, we do appreciate you so much. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. We do really appreciate it.
Like
We
and subscribe.
would like and subscribe. We
Like and
thank you
subscribe.
for hanging out with us tonight and talking
love
about
you.
the history of blaxploitation films and shows.
You damn
And,
I'm
right.
gonna go home and watch Coffee.
I'm
And,
going to go home and watch Blackula.
but yeah,
Vamp, Grace Jones.
It's actually where
Damn.
Frank and I are headed after the show to watch
To
Blackula.
watch,
Yeah.
They re-released that.
they re-released it.
Paul,
We're
what's your
gonna
favorite
watch
black movie?
Soul Plane?
My favorite.
Soul Plane. Just go and say it. If he
That's
says,
a great question.
If he says 12 Years a Slave, I'm leaving.
Oh man,
That's my favorite one. I can't tell you why. No, I'm just kidding.
does Snakes on a Plane count?
it. Oh
yeah,
man,
that counts.
Yeah.
gosh.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't think so. I don't know why it was the only one I could think.
False house.
Next week we'll be talking about
The scene in Airplane where
Oh, the
the old woman
jive.
talks jive.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
with
black
Barbara
movie.
Billingsley.
You win. He win. He's the winner, without a doubt. That's
Oh, I
great.
speak jive.
I speak jive.
Excuse me, Stuart.
Barbara
I speak
Billings.
jive.
Like Barbara
Don't like no
Billings.
help.
So
Don't get
your
no
favorite
help.
black movies or white movies? Got it.
Give us some respect, man.
There's nothing I could have said there where I would have won.
Quan would not have let. Quan will not
No,
let you in there.
there was
No.
not a correct answer.
no
there.
way, no way.
Just in case you were wondering.
No way. All right,
And
go for it.
Shane stole Soul Plane from me
Oh.
immediately, so I didn't know what to say.
Brendan, that's a good one. Brendan said The Last Dragon.
Oh, that is a good one.
That's a
That is-
great movie.
Barry Gordy produced.
can you
Yeah,
dig
that's
it?
that's a good one.
I like
about
the Wiz.
12
The
Years
Wiz
a
is
Slave?
my. The Wiz is my favorite.
Color
Wiz is a
purple.
great.
Color purple.
The Wiz or
The
Wiz. The Wiz.
Of course. No,
Oh man, it's positive.
You told Hoppo to beat me.
I heard Paul could recite the whole Django Unchained movie.
Oh my gosh.
That's actually going to be on our Patreon. It's going to be How long is Django? 2 hours and 10 minutes. 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Commentary for Django
No,
and Django.
no, not commentary. It's gonna be on mute, and I'm just
They're
gonna be
talking.
saying everybody's lines. And when there's no lines, I'll do the music in the background.
Oh, good Lord.
You should see my Leonardo DiCaprio. It's great.
Oh man.
Holy shit.
Next week, live on the line, Brendan, the Collector Without Fear, will be joining us. We'll be talking about Bloodline, Maddie the Puppy, Daredevil, Star Wars, Django Unchained, lots of stuff. How many
White chicks.
Trulies? We're talking about white chicks.
Prettiest white chick.
Brendan, prepare yourself. Guys, have a great night. And
Lord
we love
Almighty.
you. It's taco time in America.
Yes, sir.
The Blackening.
Miss you, Sonny.
The Blackening.
Atlanta?
Where is Sonny?
I don't know.
Oh, Atlanta, the show?
Love you, Sonny.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
I'm Cyclops.
Good night.
Kendrick
Good night, Eva.
Lamar's
I love you.
King Kunta music video.
Every Public Enemy
All right, I'm
album
gonna
ever.
stop.
I'm an X-Men.
We love you,
Every
Eva.
black thing he's ever seen. He's like, black.
Paul's going to get barbecue while you guys get there.
Welcome home, Tanya.